Peace and blessings, everyone. This is me, Saira Iqbal Khan, and today we are here, with another episode of Wobble Hearts, an advocacy platform brought to you by Idea Trainings, which is a training, oriented company which provides core technical engineering related, trainings and as well as soft skills training. So if you are looking for any such kind of solution, do contact us at the Idea Trainings. Moving forward, today we have another sage with us, from the HR fraternity. He brings with him more than 15 years of experience, and the great thing about him is that he has worked in multiple industries, including retail, manufacturing, and now he has dived into the tech sector, and he has been making an impact in this, industry by, engaging people, by, bringing on right people on the board, and, also, playing a very critical role of business partnering, in the organization as an HR individual. So, currently, he is, the Chief Human Resource Officer at Odyssey Solutions and Odyssey Analytics, and none other than Mr. Asif Afzal. And before, we dive into the conversation with him, I would also like to share that he's a great player of badminton as well. So, Assalamu alaikum, Asif. How are you doing and how is life?
Thank you for having me here. Not a great player for badminton, yes, because physically that's a bit challenging for me. Mm-hmm. But yes, I try to keep myself busy. Life is running very good, alhamdulillah, much settled, and many of the goals that I had thought in my youth are very close. I'm very close to achieving many of them, and now actually looking forward to the next generation and trying to impart what I have, passing on my legacy and my knowledge to the upcoming generation, and things are running fine that way.
Great. So people know you in the tech sector specifically. You have a nice standing, nice introduction to the tech sector. Anything which people don't know, whatever, apart from whatever I said about your introduction?
Actually, you said something a bit extra. Basically, I try to be an open book. The idea behind that is that the stage of my career that I am, we do not get a lot of competitors. So this is the time that rather than actually gaining something from the industry, it's time to give back. It's time to train, it's time to get new people on board and let them know what the industry demands, how the future of work is evolving. Especially we went through the 2 years of COVID and the lockdowns and everything, and the work environment has seen a lot of evolution. Mm-hmm. The processes, the stages, and the way the businesses have transformed. So a lot of things have been learned, a lot of lessons are there, and a lot of things that need to be discussed and reached out.
Great. So you talk about the future world of work and, the future workforce. So we will dive into the conversation and into the segments of our program. Mm-hmm. But prior to that, if I throw you into a situation, Elon Musk has launched a Mars colony.
Okay.
Right? And he is going to set up a company over there. Mm-hmm. For which you have been approached as Chief Global Human Resource Officer, right? Mm-hmm. So what 3 things you will do on Mars as an HR individual?
First of all, as an HR individual for the company.
Yeah, at Mars.
On Mars. First of all, I would definitely look into the major challenge would be hiring, mm-hmm. of course, and hiring and onboarding. And for that, the very first thing would be setting up a colony for the people and that I am going to hire, and for their families also. Mm-hmm. Because the distance between would take a lot of time. Mm. So I would, if something like this happens, the first thing would be setting up a colony for the family of the employees. And of course, defining a benefits program where they would be getting something in return when they are migrating to another planet. Mm-hmm. And the third one would be a vacation plan to Earth.
The vacation plan to Earth.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you ready for the rapid fire?
The rapid fire?
Yes. Brace yourself. Okay.
Are you ready?
Yeah, I am very much ready. Okay. So you have to choose option A or option B. Option A will come prior or, and option B will come after or, right? So A or B, right? MBA as management by bluffing around, or MBA as managing by brutal authenticity?
Brutal authenticity.
Brutal authenticity. Okay. Product development or man hours exposed?
Man hours.
Man hours exposed. Okay. Culture over structured or culture as informal performance oriented?
Informal performance oriented.
Okay. Organizational values are critical or just English language?
No, they are critical.
They are critical. Okay.
Yep.
Free access to all offices or restricted approach?
Restricted approach would be a better choice.
Okay. What would you prefer, control or context?
Context.
Context. Okay. Empowerment or micromanagement?
Empowerment.
Empowerment. Silos in an organization or collective measurable impact?
Collective measurable impact.
Okay. Okay. Clock in and out or value addition by the people?
Actually, I would go for both.
Both. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Head HR or CHRO as Chief Hearts Officer or Head HR as Chief Empathy Officer?
I would like to go with the empathy officer.
Empathy Officer, okay. Workforce dynamics have been disrupted or will they remain same?
No, they have been disrupted.
They have been disrupted, okay. KPI needs culture enablement or KPI to be used as a stick?
Cultural enablement would be a better choice.
Okay, okay. Metaverse, the next big thing, because it has been evaluated as an $8 trillion opportunity. So do you think metaverse, the next big thing, or just a buzzword?
Well, time will tell.
Time will tell. Okay.
Time will tell.
Training as an investment or training as a liability?
Training as an investment.
Training as an investment. Okay. Employee productivity or employee loyalty?
Loyalty.
Loyalty. Okay. Innovative mindset as a must for growth or dependence on the third party is the must for growth?
No, innovative mindset definitely.
Okay.
In-house.
In-house. Okay. How do you like the rapid fire?
Unexpected, bit fun, but many of the things are actually interconnected. In the earlier, you said a couple of things that were actually interconnected. That was about the culture and the values and everything. So this is something that is really important for a company to survive. The values are there, but on the other hand, some people might ask that if you want a culture and values, to why not offer a free access? Because definitely it's always a mixture. A free access to all the offices across the board that would definitely create issues, because the authority, the level of authority and authentication are different at different levels. So that is why we have to restrict access to the offices, but at the same time, the culture, the values, the environment, the employee productivity with the clock in and clock out are something really important. And once the innovative mindset, the things that you have thinking out of the box solutions and everything, this is something that encourages to bring the best out of a person. Not an employee, don't think that as an employee, but think that it brings out the best in every person.
Okay. Now, basically, we merged two sections. Okay. We basically merged quick takes with the rapid fire, and now we will dive into the perspective in which we will be throwing some allegations on you, which are generally, thought by the people about the HR fraternity, and in whatever they say in their considered opinion, that is going to be thrown on you. Okay.
Sure.
So the first allegation on the HR is that HR professionals are too internally focused and don't understand the bigger picture of the business.
Yes, that is true to
So
some
he has
extent.
declared himself as guilty.
Yes, I do declare, not myself, but on behalf of the HRs, I have to declare this and I have to agree with this. The reason is that if we talk about the tech industry in itself, how do I defend that? The tech industry or the general picture? How do you want to go about it?
Not okay. Just general picture, if you talk about
The general picture. All right. The reason is because if you go back a few years, the HR was considered something as scary giant. So everyone was actually afraid to pass in front of the HR's office and everything. And whenever he was like the HR used to be like a very strict invigilator. The moment he or she stepped on the floor, there was pin drop silence, and everyone is looking around that we are just about to get fired or anything like that. And that is the stigma that has stuck with it. So over the period, the rule is evolving. We are getting educated individuals. Degrees are being offered, and the concepts are being shared. But the evolution, the change in the personality, how do they actually get themselves to be a part of that cultural diversity? That is something that it needs to be taught, and the kids that are coming in, the fresh generation of HRs that is settling in, is now adapting to the same mindset. They are now actually getting to be friends with the employees on the floor, and this actually keeps them, lets them keep a hand on the pulse of the organization also, rather than being confined to a cubicle or maybe an office or a room. So the idea is changing.
Okay. Second allegation is that HR people are stuck with the concept of last salary slip, and they don't, define the salary of the individual as per their potential or caliber.
I disagree on that. This
You
is
disagree?
basically an allegation. I disagree on that. This is there are a lot of things that we have to look into, and we have to take into consideration. Just to give you an example, right now I'm working in the tech industry. So whenever I get a candidate, I have prepared my own matrix where I actually put in his current salary, his expected salary, the number that he's expecting. I inputted there. I take in consideration the performance in the interviews and the technical tests. I also take in consideration the what do we call it? The rate of inflation currently that is going on in the market. Also taken a look into the number of years of experience he has, and the market. What is the market average of that? Of that particular individual, then I actually come up with a number that is very much suitable to the candidate and to the company both at the same time. Because the idea behind the HR business partner, as an HR business partner, we also have to look at the interest of the company. So we need to make certain judgments on what the employee is getting, what the candidate is getting right now. If he or she is getting something very much lower from the current market average, what might be the reason behind that? If he or she is underpaid, is it due to a challenge due to his degree, maybe, or maybe his educational institution, or maybe due to his performance or knowledge of things and everything? So yes, we do have to look into what the current salary is, but that's not the final thing. That's just a part of what we look at.
Okay, very nicely described. If you have to choose between KPI or OKR, what would you choose?
Actually, I would like to go for a bit of both.
Okay.
Because OKRs are basically based on the longer goals. They actually tend to what do you say? They actually tend to add to the common goal of the company and the long term vision. But on a personal note, the performance of a particular individual in achieving that OKR or maybe that particular KPI, that is also important. So right now, based on the evolution and how the current scenario and environment is evolving, we cannot actually just drop the KPIs and go for OKRs, or maybe just drop the OKRs and go for KPIs only. We have to make a mix of both. And that's how we would be able to actually get the best out of the organization and the individual himself.
Okay. Culture by the chief culture officer or culture by the chief executive officer?
Culture by the chief culture officer would be a better option, but rather than that, the culture would be by the HR.
By the HR. Okay.
Yeah, because the environment, the norms, the values, because every single time we cannot actually list down we cannot have a list of norms and values and just put it on a board anywhere and ask everyone to just read them and follow them. These are some things that are actually passed on and done by example, followed by example. Like for the HR, a norm of coming in on time not only has to be dictated by the HR, but actually done by demonstrated by the HR. So rather than the chief culture officer, but that also depends upon the context. If you have a multinational organization that is in multiple countries, then definitely there is a role by the CEO and the chief culture officer also. But if your company is confined to one country only, then it can be handled by the HR, or small role can be played by the CEO also.
Okay. So, now organizations have, a lot more diverse workforces, and,
Yep.
they are having workforce from different generations as well. It's more multi-generational workforce. So where do you see the importance of generational intelligence on the part of HR in managing the workforce and keeping them engaged, motivated, and to convert them into, really productive employees?
This is something that I have said and discussed on a lot of forums before. In the last 3 to 5 years, we have seen that the higher management, the C-level people, the people that managing the company, there is a generational shift. So the people that are coming into the organizations, that are taking over the organization, are much more educated and they understand. And based on that, if we go back a few years, maybe 5 to 8 years or 10 years back, the HR was one of the most neglected departments of the organization. But now, since the higher management is educated and well informed, they do have an idea now that what is the importance and what role and how can they actually play their part in the success of the organization. So the generational shift is there, and as I said earlier, I shared earlier that now degrees are being offered in HR, certifications are being offered in the human resources, and we are actually getting a breed that has a passion for HR rather than making it a necessity that we could not find a job with any other department, so let's get into HR. So now the passionate people who actually want to be a part of the workforce, who actually want to contribute something, they are becoming a part of the HR in the companies.
Okay. There are two more things, but one question that I actually ask from every guest who comes on our show is that if given the opportunity to you to revamp the name of HR, what would you choose to describe it? Or are you fine with HR?
I don't think we have actually seen a few variations. Some people call it human capital, some people call them human assets and things like that. But the basic emphasis is on the word human rather than the other one. So whatever it is, we have to be humane. We have to remain human. There are a lot of softwares or HRMSs, human resource management systems out there that can actually can manage a lot of things, but of course they are systems. They are not humans. So the emotional intelligence, the emotional quotient that they have, the sympathy, the empathy, and trying to understand what the organization is going through, what the employee is going through, the human word has a lot of impact and importance. So that's always gonna be there. No software, no robot, no AI or anything can actually replace that human factor at that time.
Very nice. Thank you so much, Asif. It was a pleasure having you on the show. And he has said it very rightly that, organizations really need to evolve in terms of their outlook, towards business, towards people, and it has to be a people first approach, maybe, because empathy, is the buzzword nowadays. And, care is the new currency, which has merged along with the data. So now I would like to request the apex of our show, Mr. Khalid Naqi, to please wrap up this conversation and to share the takeaway of the session with you.
Assalamu alaikum. I think Asif Saab has nicely covered the various dimensions of HR and what to look into and what is happening in today's world. He has also shared his thoughts on the effective management style in any organization. So I think a lot of deep insights were shared. I have another outlook, which probably this is a direction where we as inhabitants of planet Earth are moving, because we see that with the emergence of new generation, a generational intelligence is required, and generational migration is also required in the minds of Gen X and others. क्योंकि Gen Zers, Gen Alpha उसके बाद आ गई है और भी आ जाएंगे अभी. हम देख रहे हैं बहुत सारी यंग जनरेशन अब आ रही है फील्ड में, and effectively 5 generational workforce, which is called 5G workforce, is there in any organization. अब चैलेंज ये आ रहा है, जो यूथ आ रहा है उसका आउटलुक बहुत डिफरेंट है, and they want to be star in their own story and they want to be known for their achievements and works. एक और इनका जो आउटलुक है वो ये है कि they want freedom, they want autonomy, they want, and somehow वो काम उसी में करते हैं जिसको मज़ा आता है, and they feel satisfied. और उसमें apart from the extrinsic motivators जो था कि आपने कैरेट दिखा दी या स्टिक कैरी करनी है या आपने इंसेंटिवाइज कर देना है हर चीज़ को, तो उसमें भी काफ़ी स्टडीज़ भी हुई हैं और अब डिसरप्टिव इनोवेशंस का ज़माना है. And because of this new minds coming in, which are inhabitants of tech era, हम लोग तो migrate करके tech era में आए हैं, ये तो inhabitants हैं, ये तो पैदा होते साथ ही they know how to use mobile and all that stuff. तो इनका outlook self gratification की तरफ बहुत ज़्यादा है, which further drives them into कि what's in there for me. और अगर उसमें इनको कोई किसी तरह की satisfaction नहीं मिल रही, they quickly lose interest. तो अब ऐसे लोगों के लिए जो बात आसिफ साहब ने की, एनेबलिंग एनवायरनमेंट या एनेबलिंग कल्चर कैसे बनाया जाए, क्या बनाया जाए, और शुड वी हैव ओपन डोर पॉलिसी, इजी एक्सेस टू एनीबडी, और शुड वी हैव रिस्ट्रिक्टिव पॉलिसीज एंड अदर थिंग्स. तो बहुत सारे एरियाज़ होते हैं जो कि रेगुलेटेड होते हैं कि अनऑथराइज्ड पर्सन्स आर नॉट अलाउड, लेकिन जनरली स्पीकिंग व्हाट हैपेंस इज़ कि ये जो जनरेशन आ रही है, they want total autonomy on their work. Stop, and this is the VUCA time we have entered, and these young generations are not afraid of it. Probably they don't understand the intricacies of VUCA also, but because of the tech, they are so involved in sitting in front of screens, चाहे मोबाइल हो, कंप्यूटर हो, जो चीज़ भी हो, कि हर चीज़ को मैकेनिकल लगती है, and easy access के आदि हो गए हैं. तो in office setup they also want flexibility, they want to be on their own, they want to be their own boss. तो इस तरह के माइंडसेट का टीम मेकिंग, कल्चरल सेटिंग किस तरह करनी है. तो आज का जो लीडर है, किसी भी डिपार्टमेंटल हेड है या सीईओ है, जनरली सीईओ ने ही कल्चर की अगर सेटिंग करे तो अच्छा होता है, बिकॉज इट देन ड्राइव्स डाउन. लेकिन जो डिपार्टमेंटल हेड है उसने भी एक कल्चर क्रिएट करना है जिससे परफॉर्मेंस ड्राइव करनी है एट द एंड ऑफ द डे, चाहे वो KPI हो, OKR हो, और एनीथिंग एल्स, उससे परफॉर्मेंस ड्राइव करनी है. वो ड्राइव करने के लिए हार्ट, माइंड, बॉडी एंड सोल अब अंदर होती है किसी काम के, तो काम हो जाता है. तो आई थिंक वी आर हेडिंग टूवर्ड्स डिसरप्शन इन ऑल द प्रैक्टिसेस इंक्लूडिंग HR प्रैक्टिसेस, बिकॉज न्यू माइंड सेट इज़ कमिंग इन, इनका अपना आउटलुक है. और इनकी एक चीज़ बड़ी क्लियर है, दे वांट ऑटोनॉमी, दे डोंट वांट एनी, बट प्रॉब्लम विद देम इज कि दे डोंट वांट टू कोलैबोरेट आल्सो. तो दैट इज़ वेयर आई थिंक जो भी OD या LND या जो भी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन कर रही है, उनके माइंडसेट में उन्होंने कोलैबोरेशन की चीज़ लेके आनी है. काम कुछ इस तरह दे दें उनको एज एन एक्सरसाइज कि वो मजबूरी हो जाए कोलैबोरेट करना. दैट इज़ वन एरिया विद दे आर सफरिंग. और एक और बात है जनरेशन की, दे वांट टू बी वेरी क्लियर कि भाई इसका पर्पस क्या है, ये क्यों कराना चाह रहे हो आप मेरे से, क्यों करना है ये. दे क्वेश्चन यू, दे विल क्वेश्चन द अथॉरिटी एंड दे आर नॉट अफ्रेड. और वो कहेंगे जी ये ऐसे नहीं, इसको ऐसे करें. एंड दे आर वेरी ब्रेव यंग पीपल. तो आई थिंक वी हैव एंटर्ड वेरी चैलेंजिंग टाइम. और जैसे सारा ने कहा कि आसिफ साहब अगर आपने मार्स के लिए रिक्रूटमेंट कर ली हो तो क्या करेंगे, तो आई थिंक पाकिस्तान में प्लानिट अर्थ पे भी वही सिनेरियो आ गया विद दिस न्यू जनरेशन कि यहाँ पे भी आपने लोगों को इस तरह हायर करना है और उनका तमाम बेनिफिट्स एंड अदर थिंग्स कि जो प्लानिट अर्थ भी इस वक्त आप समझे मार्स हो गई है. यू हैव टू स्टार्ट from the fresh slate. So thank you very much. I think we'll share a lot more thoughts. Asif Saab, thank you for coming, and we'll invite you again for your further deeper insights.
Thank you, Wobble Hearts, for having me. Quite unplanned, but at the same time, quite brutal, very blunt, and I got to say a lot of things जो मैं normally gatherings में उस तरह से नहीं कह पाता हूँ. The rapid fire was good, and the questions were very unexpected, but very well designed, and idea trainings, it's really good. The initiatives like that, basically जैसा कि I got to know after 10, 12, 15 years of experience, it's time to give back. गिव बैक टू द सोसाइटी, लोगों को बताएं, लोगों को सिखाएं. और आइडिया ट्रेनिंग्स के पीछे जो माइंडसेट है, जो चीज़ें ऑपरेट कर रही हैं, वो भी इसी के साथ है कि रादर देन एक बुकिश नॉलेज प्रोवाइड करने के, एक वो प्लान दिया जाए, एक वो लोगों के साथ वो नॉलेज, वो इंफॉर्मेशन शेयर की जाए जो कि रियल लाइफ सिनेरियोज बेस्ड हैं. And this is something that is the need of the time. Idea trainings, I commend you on taking such a step, and I really look forward to many more sessions like this, and hopefully idea trainings, give it up.